Episodes return on CBS Thursday, December 5th.
Papa's House is all new. CBS Monday, 8:30, 7:30 Central.
Weather not too bad for Thanksgiving itself, but lake effect really kicks into gear Thursday night and into Friday. We'll have more of those details coming up at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, there have been multiple reports of bomb threats against some of President-elect Trump's cabinet picks. We'll have the latest. Plus, Michigan's Attorney General Dana Nessel talks how to stay away from scammers, with the holidays usually being the time they see the most activity. And the heroic story of a young girl saving her sister's life just after receiving the training needed to do so. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Light snow and flurries for the balance of tonight, and for Mark on Thanksgiving, we're not expecting much, but those of you on the western shores toward Houghton, eastern shores toward Newberry, will probably get at least some accumulations here. Brisk winds, high temperatures approaching 30 degrees, and most of you will stay in the upper 20s near 30, again with some light snow showers in some of those areas, especially at the end of the day. The rest of the weekend forecast coming up later in the show. Kevin?
Thanks, Tom. A temporary ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah appears to be holding. It took effect early this morning and follows more than a year of cross-border fighting. Natalie Brain is at the White House, where the Biden administration helped broker the deal.
Cars streamed back into bombarded neighborhoods throughout Lebanon Wednesday. This resident said going back home is the nicest feeling. Fighting along Lebanon's border with northern Israel displaced more than 1 million people. This Israeli resident said, "This is what we've been waiting for. Now we can get back to work." The U.S. brokered ceasefire deal between Israel and the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah took effect early Wednesday. Under the agreement, over the next 60 days, the Lebanese army and state security forces will take control, and Israel will gradually withdraw its remaining forces from Lebanon.
Of course, we're going to have to monitor it and implement it day by day, and the United States and France, along with our other allies, are committed to help doing that. And of course, at the end of the day, as the deal states, Israel retains the right to self-defense if Hezbollah or any other terrorist group violates the deal.
The U.S. is also making another push to get a larger ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas to end fighting in Gaza and get the remaining Israeli hostages released.
It's believed around 100 hostages are still being held in Gaza. At least a third of them are believed to be dead. Families pray the deal in Lebanon will lead to more.
For sure, there is a way that we can bridge the gap, and we've just heard today that Hamas is willing to have a ceasefire deal, and therefore the same mediators should put their foot down, set the goal to have a ceasefire deal with all the hostages being brought back home.
As negotiations continue, the Biden administration says it's keeping the incoming Trump team informed.
Now to the Trump transition. Tonight, the FBI is investigating a wave of bomb threats and hoax emergency calls targeting the president-elect's top cabinet picks. Weijia Jiang has the details.
Among the victims of bomb threats and swatting incidents targeting the incoming administration, President-elect Trump's choice for Attorney General, his chief of staff, and his picks to lead the Commerce Department and Environmental Protection Agency. Matt Gaetz, who was the nominee for Attorney General before he withdrew from consideration, was also targeted. Tonight, the Trump transition team says with President Trump as our example, dangerous acts of intimidation and violence will not deter us. The threats unfolded as Trump announced other high-profile positions, including Dr. Jay Bhattacharya as head of the NIH, the nation's medical research agency.
The government was the #1 source of misinformation during the pandemic.
Bhattacharya was highly critical of the doctors who led the U.S. response to COVID-19, including Dr. Anthony Fauci. He blasted the use of masks and lockdowns and called vaccines propaganda. Trump's pick for Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is also a vaccine skeptic.
What do Trump's picks to lead health agencies tell you so far about the future of these agencies?
Many of these selections imply a skepticism of science.
CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder is an infectious disease specialist.
Politics and partisanship don't necessarily make for good science, for good biomedical research. And so we can anticipate that this will harm research at the NIH, could interfere with the best public health policies coming out of the CDC.
Trump has also selected a Secretary of the Navy, John Phelan, who has never served in the military. Phelan was a Trump campaign mega donor and leads a private investment firm. Trump says Phelan will put the business of the U.S. Navy above all else.
Michigan's Attorney General is giving reminders to help avoid the rising number of holiday scams. With the winter holidays underway, it's the peak time of year for retail, travel, and online or phone scams. Surveys from the AARP show that 80% of people have experienced some kind of fraudulent activity during the holiday season. To help shrink that number, the Attorney General's office has expanded the resources on its consumer protection website. The tools outline best practices to keep your information protected and avoid scams.
You can't say, well, this is never going to happen to me. You really have to think about it as it's likely going to happen to me. But by following our advice, there is also a good chance that you can avoid being victimized.
That website was www.michigan.gov/consumer protection. We'll have that link and more on our website and mobile news app. With the first bit of snow on the roads, the Marquette County Road Commission says they're ready to handle this winter weather. The Road Commission is reminding motorists of a new public act passed this summer, which requires drivers to give 200 feet of clearance to a moving or standing plow or salt truck with its flashing lights on and 20 feet at an intersection. The Director of Operations says the new law gives their drivers the space they need to plow safely.
A lot of times where we get to an intersection during normal maintenance and we'll have to back up and the mirrors and lights are covered on the snowplow and it's not always easy to see. Car will sneak in behind a snowplow, blending in with the snow, and we'll back into them. So this will give us a little more room.
As always, the Road Commission urges drivers to drive slow on ice and snow. A Schoolcraft County nonprofit is delivering smiles to those facing serious diagnosis. The Power of 10 Foundation sends care packages to people of all ages living with chronic and terminal illnesses as well as disabilities. Volunteers select unique items for each recipient, including toys, puzzles, socks, and bathing products. Over the last 6 years, the foundation has sent more than 10,000 care packages to individuals in 21 countries.
Every day taking medications, 23 medications, which is what I took when I was sick. Dark things enter your mind. I've always said if you just get that 5 minutes of a little smile out of your face from a package makes the biggest overall impact. Mental health is a big factor when people are struggling to fight for another day.
For information on donating, volunteering, or applying for a Power of 10 Foundation care package, visit WZMQ19.com. A Texas family is grateful this Thanksgiving. A 12-year-old girl saved her younger sister's life just hours after learning basic life-saving skills in a class. J.D. Miles has their story.
It was a normal day for 12-year-old Ari Agramont and her sister Suri. They were preparing to walk their dogs when the 8-year-old started choking.
She leaned back, took a deep breath, and she did the motions, cough down, but no air was coming out, so I got scared. I didn't know what was happening.
Suri had a piece of candy stuck in her throat, unable to breathe.
So I was just pressing against, and then I did it once, just pressing against, and then I remembered to scoop, and I did it twice, and that the third time it came out.
Ari applied the Heimlich maneuver on Suri.
I was like, oh my gosh, she actually could have died.
And possibly saved her sister's life. It's a skill that she had learned only hours earlier in a babysitting training class sponsored by the McKinney Fire Department with help from Baylor Scott and White nurses.
I've been wanting to babysit, but I kind of wanted to find a reason for parents to trust me with their kids. So my aunt saw that class and recommended it to my mom.
You should be so proud.
McKinney's mayor and city council honored Ari with an award in front of her proud parents.
Even though if you do have that training, not everybody has that ability to just stay calm and react and do something. So like, we are very proud of you because you did it.
When she was describing the technique that she was using, she described it exactly the way we teach it. So she's paying attention, which is great.
McKinney Fire Chief Paul Dow says what happened illustrates why basic life-saving skills are important for everyone to learn. Two young girls can continue to grow up together, all because one of them knew what to do in an emergency.
Great story there. Tom DeVecchio has your first warning weather forecast after the break. Plus, the Biden administration pushes for more accessibility for weight loss drugs. And sailors aboard the USS Indianapolis return home to their families for Thanksgiving. We'll show you the reunion when we come back.
John's Auto has been voted the #1 dealer to buy pre-owned vehicle for longer than I've been alive. If you're looking for a vehicle, or if you're looking for someone to help with your current car, or if you need to get yours looking like new again, come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Optimize your home during Kirkish Furniture's Black November sale. This GE electric range, $579. GE over-the-range microwave, just $199. Whirlpool gas range, $599. 12-month no-interest financing and free local delivery.
It's your last chance. Menards' 11% rebate ends Thanksgiving Day. We carry easy-to-install storage solutions that help maximize your space. This Rubbermaid pantry kit is $109.99 after rebate. Add warmth and elegance to any room with soft and luxurious area rugs from Natco. Get a Lynn area rug for $119.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Here's your WZMQ CBS This Is Home Community Calendar.
is a great place, but sometimes the weather changes quickly. You'll always be ready with the WZMQ 19 mobile app. Available free right now from the App Store. Your local weather power tool from WZMQ 19.
Is your parents' car sounding funny? Do you hear any clunks, rattles, squeaks, or leaks? Tell them to call John's Auto Service Department for fast, friendly, and affordable service. Come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Looks like the rest of tonight into Thanksgiving, most of you, the weather should be decent. By later on in the afternoon, though, some areas could get some pretty decent lake effect, particularly well west and well east of Marquette. Marquette kind of in that window of little snow in between. Lake effect will continue for Friday into the weekend. Some good amounts expected, again, along the western shores and in the far eastern shores, where that northwest flow will give some fairly good amounts. Indeed, that northwest wind will continue. It's going to pick up, be pretty steady. Steady winds around 15, some gusts to 25. So bundle up if you're heading out to wherever your destinations take you on Thanksgiving. And the winds will die off a little bit later on in the day. In the meantime, Futurecast through early morning on Thanksgiving. You can see some bands just to the east of Marquette and out towards Sault Ste. Marie, Newberry, and a few here off toward the west. Notice during the day, see how steady it goes, and we start to get more color here. Lance out toward Houghton into Iron River there, good chance, and also the snow picks up here to the east of Marquette toward areas like Newberry and Sault Ste. Marie. We call this steady state. Look at those bands do not move Thursday night into Friday. That means some really good amounts. Now for the balance of tonight into tomorrow morning, not much. And most of you, by the end of the day Thursday, Thanksgiving, not a whole lot here. Maybe an inch or two in some spots near the lake shore. Things really kick in though. Again, these are total amounts here, kind of cumulative amounts as we head toward Friday morning. Things starting to get kicking into gear. Ironwood, Munising, look at that, close to a foot already, and just gets more on Friday with those steady state northwest winds. Foot, maybe even a foot and a half perhaps, between Munising and Sault Ste. Marie, and to some extent maybe 6 to 12 along the western shores. Lawns, you can get about 6, but again, Marquette, not expecting much here. Iron River, Iron Mountain, not a whole lot for you as well in the grand scheme of things. So Thanksgiving itself, bundle up, cold winds, and you saw some light snow, but no serious storms or serious accumulations are expected as we stay pretty much in the lower to mid 20s, perhaps near 30 along the lake shore areas for tonight. And into Thanksgiving itself, not much change in those temperatures on that cold northwest flow with a good chance of those heavier bands of lake effect, Munising, Newberry, and also lawns eastward or westward rather toward the Lake Superior shores. After that, we'll keep more snow bands around for Saturday and Sunday. Those of you that are getting hit tomorrow and Friday probably will get hit again, same spots as we head on into the weekend.
Thanks, Tom. A new White House proposal would make Medicare and Medicaid cover costly weight loss drugs for people who are obese, but it's unclear if the $35 billion proposal will go anywhere since it wouldn't go into effect until President-elect Donald Trump takes office. Erica Brown reports from Washington, D.C.
Popular weight loss drugs such as Ozempic and Wegovy would be accessible to millions more Americans under a new Biden administration plan. The proposal would make Medicaid and Medicare cover the drugs for obese people who do not have an underlying medical condition, such as diabetes or heart disease. Obesity alone would be enough to qualify.
Even if you don't yet have type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, if you have obesity, you are at extremely high risk for developing these medical issues. And so we see this as really trying to head off some of these complications.
A bipartisan coalition of congressional lawmakers has lobbied for the drugs to be covered by Medicare, arguing that it could save the government billions of dollars treating chronic ailments associated with obesity. But it's unclear if the incoming Trump administration will follow through with the plan, which carries a $35 billion price tag. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who Trump has tapped to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, has long been critical of the drugs, preferring to address what he calls the root causes of obesity and other chronic diseases.
We're mass poisoning our children with processed foods. We have 1,000 ingredients in our foods that are illegal in Europe.
People can lose as much as 15 to 25% of their body weight on the drugs, which imitate the hormones that regulate appetite.
Under the Biden proposal, people who are overweight, not obese, but overweight, who do not have other qualifying conditions would still not be eligible. It was a heartwarming homecoming just 2 days before Thanksgiving. About 75 sailors aboard the USS Indianapolis returned to Naval Station Mayport on Tuesday after a 7-month deployment. Nicholas Brooks has more.
Sailors were greeted with warm hugs and kisses from their loved ones as they celebrate their return home.
It's a lot of love brewing up.
After months away, these sailors have been supporting critical U.S. Navy missions across the Middle East, Europe, and the Atlantic, promoting freedom of navigation and ensuring global security. But Tuesday, it was all about reuniting with family.
We've been through a lot, and I'm just grateful to be back.
As the ship docked, families and friends lined the pier, eagerly awaiting their loved ones. Many held signs reading, "Welcome home" and "I love you," rushing to embrace the sailors. One mother who experienced 3 separate deployments says her faith helped make this one a little easier.
So this time go around, it was actually pretty easy. We are Christians, so God has kind of, been our rock.
You can't describe it. I'm just grateful to God that I'm back with the family.
It's clear this reunion is more than just about the sailors' return. It's about the bonds of family, the strength of faith, and the deep gratitude of the sacrifices made over the past several months.
Still to come on your 19 News. With Thanksgiving tomorrow, we'll go over some important reminders that could keep your family safe while cooking your meals. We'll be right back.
Tonight on The Late Show, President Bill Clinton is here. A former president returns, but in a pleasant way.
CBS tonight. I thought it was just a rash, but it had a bullseye ring around it. My doctor said it was a tick bite. Luckily, we caught it early.
Ticks found in tall grass around your home can spread Lyme disease and other illnesses, which can lead to chronic health issues. The CDC estimates nearly 500,000 people across the country are diagnosed with Lyme disease each year.
I didn't understand why my brother was having so many asthma flare-ups. Sometimes he couldn't breathe. Turns out a roach problem at home was triggering it.
Allergens left behind by dust mites, roaches, and rodents are a major driver of asthma attacks, especially in children.
When I had a fever, body aches, and fatigue, I never thought it would have been West Nile virus. All it took was a mosquito bite while gardening.
Mosquitoes spread West Nile virus and many other diseases, and they can breed in standing water around your home. Protect your family from pests. Get the facts at pestworld.org.
PTSD isn't something that is just going to go away on its own.
Treatment works. It helps.
There's no shame in treatment.
Just do it. Your world will be so different afterwards.
It's a warrior sickness. It's not a coward sickness.
Never too late.
I guarantee you it'll help you.
It will change your life.
It turned my life around.
You can find peace.
I never thought I could feel this good.
Walk through those doors, take the step.
Go get help. It's the best and bravest thing you could ever do.
Treatment works.
Direct.
Don't you ever look up at the sky and roll your eyes. You hear me?
Yes.
Realistic.
I will maybe have a tendency to spend too much and won't be able to pay your rent.
He holds the line.
I resent it, and I resent you for doing it.
Mathis Court is in session.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS. You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. Millions of Americans will spend a big portion of Thanksgiving in the kitchen, getting the meal ready. But safety experts say it's important to remember there is a major risk of fire this time of year. Christine Lazar has some tips on how to stay safe.
Earlier this year, dozens of people had to evacuate this apartment complex in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, after several units went up in flames. Authorities say the fire was started when a resident left food cooking on the stove unattended. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says of the 352,000 home fires every year, 45% are cooking related. When are kitchen fires most prevalent?
They're really most prevalent right around Thanksgiving. That is the day that we see the most fires, about 1,400 on average.
Alexander Hohen-Sarek is chair of the Consumer Product Safety Commission and says stove fires are often caused when grease ignites. This demonstration from the Orange County Fire Authority shows what can happen if you try to put it out with water.
When you put water in a grease fire, it will actually explode and blow up.
Chief Brian Fennessy says the best way to put it out is to cover it with a lid to kill the flame or use a fire extinguisher.
If you've got a fire extinguisher available, know where it is, know that it's charged.
Deep frying a turkey is also popular this time of year, but can cause an explosion if oil spills out and ignites. Using a turkey that is not properly thawed is also dangerous.
I deep fry my turkey every year, but I also make sure that if I'm going to be frying, it's away from the house, not on a porch. Don't do it in a garage. Don't use a frozen turkey.
Sarek says no matter how you're cooking, the key is to pay attention.
It's really important to stay there, watch the pans, and make sure that there aren't little kids running around, somebody who's going to knock over a pan or knock over grease and just start a fire.
Some simple precautions can make sure your family remains safe this holiday.
The holidays are a busy time for many of us, but experts say it's important to remember to keep your pets healthy. Veterinarians say the best thing you can do to keep your furry friends safe is maintaining a comfortable environment and perhaps keeping them away from strangers. And when it comes to the Thanksgiving dinner, it's always best to avoid giving them the table food.
Making sure that they're not getting snacks, sweets, things with xylitol in them, sugar-free gum specifically. We definitely don't want them to get into that. We don't want them to have bones, fatty things like chicken skin, turkey skin, and the string that you tie your turkey up with, that is a very delicious treat for them.
Pet experts say holiday lights that can be chewed on and open flames can also be dangerous for animals. Demand for assistance from food banks and pantries across the country is up this holiday season, with many folks struggling under the weight of inflation and high grocery prices. Donnie Bacchus takes a look at efforts across the country, including a long-running California pantry that feeds twice the number of families it once did.
In food banks and pantries from the coast to the low country, it's crunch time.
This is an incredibly busy week. And then it ramps back up again as we head into Christmas.
2 more boxes.
The run-up to Thanksgiving is typically hectic, but demand for food assistance has been high in many places, like here at the Santa Clarita Valley Food Pantry all year long.
The amount of people that have come and signed up every week, it's astronomical. Some days it's 10 new families.
According to the USDA, in 2023, more than 47 million people lived in food-insecure households, and more than 50 million Americans turned to food assistance programs for help.
People will eat crackers so they can stay in their homes. And so what we hear is that we're the last kind of bastion of hope between them becoming unhoused and them being to stay housed.
The food is free for those who request it.
This is one of the most helpful things to have around this time of year because, we don't have a lot of money and they provide food for us and they're really nice people.
A recent analysis of the top 300 food banks shows the very biggest are getting bigger to meet growing need, but most food banks like this one are relatively small. In one case, really small. You may have heard of a little library. Well, this is a little free food pantry in 26 locations across Louisiana.
This project's a really simple way to give back, especially around the holidays.
Whether it's grand gestures,
we're able to give $5 million to our food shelves across the state of Minnesota.
Or small acts of kindness.
These bags will be given to the clients to put their food products in.
It's helping make sure everyone can share in the feast.
To find food assistance near you, go to feedingamerica.org and enter your zip code. And if you're someone who'd like to make a donation, check out your nearest pantry and especially look for opportunities on Giving Tuesday. With the holidays upon us, Travel Marquette is adding to the holiday spirit with the Winter Light Festival. Our John Truitt checked out what to expect.
The Winter Light Festival is a combination of several holiday-related events. The celebration includes the popular laser light show on the Lower Harbor Ore Dock's northeast face, the lighting of the city's Christmas tree, the annual holiday parade, festive holiday lights downtown, and a new attraction called Oscillation. Susan Essler, CEO of Travel Marquette, says combining all these events into one festival will hopefully draw more people.
It's a series of different events. Some are events that have existed for a while, but it's kind of bundled together so that it is something special and something unique. DDA is involved with it as well as Arts and Culture and the Public Arts Commission.
After feedback from the public, this year's laser light show will be shown on the east face of the Lower Harbor Ore Dock, allowing for easier access and better parking. To access the musical portion of the laser show, you simply enter a QR code to get the full playlist onto your phone. Essler explains the scope of this project.
It is, from my understanding, the largest laser light display on a structure in Northern America.
Now getting back to what's new, the Oscillation exhibit is an electronic musical instrument that creates melodic sounds and lights without any physical contact by the user. The Holiday Laser Light Show begins tomorrow night and runs Thursday, Friday, and Saturday until December 28th, with a special show on New Year's Eve. Showtimes are from 6 to 8 p.m. In Marquette, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
Tom DeVecchio has your final Thanksgiving weather forecast when we come back. Stay tuned.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Are you on Medicaid and in need of bladder control and incontinence products? Then stay tuned for a free offer from Active Style.
Can Medicaid help me with bladder control products?
At Active Style, we understand your needs and offer convenient home delivery of incontinence products for children and adults. And they may be available at no cost to you if you're Medicaid eligible. When you call a personal consultant, someone like me will help you find the best bladder control supplies for you. Our products have a super absorbent core that locks away wetness to keep you dry. And if the fit's not right, we'll send different products until you're completely satisfied. Plus, every order ships free right to your door in discreet boxes.
Active Style is a lifesaver.
If you're on Medicaid, call now for your free sample. Active Style is the easy, convenient way to get incontinence supplies shipped discreetly to your door at no cost to you.
Call 1-800-918-4072.
Tonight on The Late Show, President Bill Clinton is here. A former president returns, but in a pleasant way.
CBS Tonight.
It's Christmas time at Richardson Jewelers, downtown Marquette. The tree is up and the stockings are hung by the chimney with care. Come shop our timeless diamond stud earrings, gemstones of every color, and fashion jewelry that will capture her heart. Give the gift of love wrapped up with one of our signature gold boxes with the burgundy bow. Shop Richardson Jewelers, downtown Marquette.
At Richardson Jewelers.
Oliver Wendell Douglas, man of few words.
Oh, for the love of. Oh, for the love of.
Oh, for the love of me TV.
Oh, for the love of.
Green Acres, weeknights at 9:30 p.m. on WZMQ Me TV.
Let's check out the snowfall outlook over the next several days here. For the balance of tonight, not much here. Things are looking pretty good toward daybreak on Thursday as you get your turkey dinners ready there. And overall, grand scheme of things, most of you not seeing much snow. Newberry towards Sault Ste. Marie could get a couple of inches by the end of the day, maybe an inch or two, 1 to 3 along the western shores. But Marquette, Iron Mountain, in between, Escanaba, not seeing much. Watch how these colors really kick into gear, though, for Thursday night and into Friday. This is a cumulative total of snow. All said and done, well over a foot in the far east, and could get close to that as well on the western shores of Lake Superior. Saturday and Sunday, more lake effect kicking in. Probably those same areas will get hit again to some extent over the weekend. We'll watch it, though. Keep those cold temps and more light snow into the beginning of next week. Otherwise, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Kevin?
Tom, thank you. There's just a few more days to participate in WZMQ's Operation Warm-Up campaign with Goodwill of Northern Wisconsin and Upper Michigan. Until Saturday, November 30th, you can drop off new or gently used winter gear in the designated blue bins at Goodwill locations in Marquette, Houghton, Escanaba, Sault Ste. Marie, and Marinette, Wisconsin. You also have the option to round up at the register. This year, donations will be given to local agencies that provide emergency housing and warm-up shelters. And that's all we have time for tonight, folks. No shows tomorrow. We'll see you on Friday. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
John's Auto has been voted the #1 dealer to buy pre-owned vehicle for longer than I've been alive. If you're looking for a vehicle, or if you're looking for someone to help with your current car, or if you need to get yours looking like new again, come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.